Hi there, welcome to Library Yoga. If you don't already know me, my name is Chelsea and I'm a librarian here at Brock University and also a yoga instructor. Today for our library yoga session, we're going to start with some chair yoga moves that we can use to de-stress, unwind, and become a little more present in our bodies, perhaps in the middle of our studies, in the middle of our workday, without actually having to go and leave our desk and leave our chairs. As we move through the practice, we will also be standing and we'll stretch out the whole body through these movements. But today's practice is designed to be a little bit stealthy, a little bit sneaky, that you can work into your day at any point. So we'll start just by sitting up nice and tall, seated on the edge of our seats, our feet flat on the floor in front of us, lifting up through the crown of the head. And if you're not practicing with a chair today, you can also do this seated on the floor in whatever position feels most comfortable to you. So we'll start sitting up nice and tall, gently closing our eyes or lowering our gaze to the floor, whatever feels most comfortable for you. We'll take a moment to check in here first with the body. Notice how your body feels as it settles in this seated posture. Observe any areas of tightness or tension. And if there are any small movements you can make to make yourself a little bit more comfortable here, go ahead and make those adjustments now. But otherwise, just observe how you're feeling. And then gradually bring your attention to your breath. Notice how your breath is moving. If it's fast or slow, if it's deep or shallow. And there's no need to change it, just observe how it feels in your body. And then gradually, from your breath, bring your attention to how your mind is moving. Notice if your thoughts are racing around. Maybe notice what directions they're heading off in. And then acknowledging where your thoughts are going, gently bring your mind back to the present moment and the movement of your breath. We'll do a few rounds of counted breathing just to settle ourselves into the practice today. So what this looks like is we'll breathe in for 4 counts and out for 4 counts, and we'll do this 4 times. As we move through this breathing, see if you can relax your eyes. Even though they're closed, try to keep them still. Often when the mind is moving around quite a bit, the eyes are also moving. So try to bring a sense of stillness to your eyes and give them the rest that they need after being on screen for so long. If you're with me, we'll take a normal breath in and out to prepare. And then we'll breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Last round in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. And return to normal breathing. Just observe how you feel after a few moments of conscious breath work. Notice if perhaps your eyes are a little restless again. We'll take the palms together at center and just rub them together a little bit, get a little bit of friction in your hands, a little bit of warmth in your hands. And then gently we can cup the hands over the eyes, creating a little bit of extra darkness. And again, rest the eyes, try not to move them around too much. And then slowly flutter your eyes open with your hands covering your eyes. Just slowly peel the hands away and keep the eyes open now. Hopefully we're feeling a little more present, a little more relaxed. We'll start to get moving with our chair yoga to begin. We'll start by very simply drawing some circles with the nose. So we'll take the nose up and around one side, down through center, tucking the chin to the chest, and around the other way. So we can take this a few times in one direction and a few times in the other. Maybe try to inhale as you take your nose up and exhale as you take your nose down. So we're loosening up the muscles in the neck here. Often when we're working at our desks all day, if we're staring at our books or our computers, we're really looking in just one direction. We'll go ahead and switch. We'll switch, moving the other way. So this is a very gentle way of waking up the neck, maybe noticing if there are any areas of tension or tightness. Inhaling up, exhaling down. We'll take one more circle around. It's often very calming to really consciously marry the breath with the movement. And as the nose comes down, we'll pause at the bottom here, tucking the chin, feeling a nice stretch up along the back of the neck, maybe down into the upper back, maybe a little bit into the shoulders. And then slowly we'll lift the head up. Wonderful. From here, we'll gently take the left ear to the left shoulder. There's no need to force things here. You're not really trying to force your head down to your shoulder, just gently tipping it to the side, consciously keeping your shoulders back, feeling that nice opening along the right side of the neck. Take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, we'll lift the head back up. Now we'll take the chin towards the left shoulder, so slightly different angle. Take the chin towards the left and then nod it down towards that left shoulder. You'll feel that stretch in a different spot now on the back right side of the neck. Take a nice deep breath in, and exhale, we'll come back to center. We'll do that on the other side. Gently, we'll tip that right ear towards the right shoulder. Again, consciously trying to keep the shoulders back. There might be a tendency to sort of round forwards here. We're really going to want to open up today. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, come on up. And now we'll bring the chin to the right shoulder. So we'll turn it to the side and gently bow that chin down, feeling that stretch in a bit of a different spot. Notice if it feels different on this side. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, we'll come back to center. Nice. Let's continue the movement down through the body. We'll start to roll the shoulders back a few times here. We can inhale, take them up. Exhale, take them down. Again, marrying the breath with the movement. Sort of forces you to bring a little bit more consciousness, a little bit more awareness into the present moment. We'll switch directions, take the shoulders forwards. Nice. And now we'll stop bringing the hands to the tops of the shoulders. We're going to make this movement a little bigger and get into a little bit of a different spot. So we'll start by inhaling, taking the elbows towards each other and taking them up. And then exhaling, circling the elbows around back and down. So we'll continue circling up and around and down. If you've practiced with me a few times, you know I like to call this move the funky chicken. So if you want to freestyle at any point, you're welcome to do so. Part of taking a library yoga break, you're moving around in some unconventional ways. We'll go ahead and switch directions here. But you're also taking a little bit of a break to check in with yourself and maybe find a little bit of lightness and brightness in your day, changing things up. Library yoga is a very unconventional sort of combination of ideas. Libraries and yoga don't often go together, but I think they should. So again, feel free to freestyle. You can throw in the funky chicken here. We'll take one more circle, and then we'll gently release and let the arms drop. Awesome. From here, we're going to reach that left arm all the way up, and you can bring your right hand either down to the seat of your chair, holding onto the edge, or if you're seated on the floor, maybe bringing your hand to the floor. We're going to inhale, reach up nice and high, and exhale, arc over towards the right side. And as you arc over here, you want to try to maintain even weight down through your hips so your left hip isn't sort of peeling up here. And you want to try to keep your chest open so you're not collapsing down and forwards here. You want to really open up through your chest. And if you find you're sort of rounding forwards, maybe ease off of the side stretch a little bit. Don't tip quite as far over. And you'll notice you can rotate your chest open a little bit more. We'll take one more inhale here. And exhale, we'll come on up, bringing that left hand across to your right knee. We'll bring those right fingertips now gently behind us on the seat so we can sit up nice and tall with our arm crossed in front of us. Take a deep breath in and exhale, leading from the belly button. We're going to twist gently towards the right, maybe taking the gaze back towards that right shoulder. So this takes quite a bit of core engagement here. You're not really using your arms to press you into this twist here. We don't want to do anything really forceful like that. We're just gently twisting towards the right, leading with the core, using those core muscles. Maybe continuing the stretch through the neck by taking the gaze back. We'll take one more inhale here. And then as we exhale, we'll unwind, bringing the left forearm down to the top of our knees. So if you're seated on the floor, you can experiment with bringing your hand into your lap if you're seated cross-legged. And from here, we're going to continue rotating the chest open up to the right and peel that right arm up to come into a seated twist. So from here, you want to continue opening up the chest and think about lengthening your spine forward. So again, we're not rounding back here. We're sort of leading with the crown of our head, reaching forwards nice and long through the spine as we come into this twist. We'll take one more inhale and exhale. We'll gently come on up and we'll do that on the other side. So we'll take that left hand to the base of our seat or the floor. With an inhale, we'll reach that right arm up. And exhale, we'll arc over to the right, or to the left rather, with the right hand. And again, notice if your right hip is rolling up here, try to keep it nice and rooted. Lifting up through the chest, getting that nice side body stretch. Take one more inhale. And exhale, we'll come on up and we'll cross that right hand across to the left knee and take that left hand behind you on your seat. With an inhale, lift up nice and tall, and exhale, leading from the belly button, twist towards the left, and then maybe continue taking your gaze back towards your left shoulder. And again, we're trying not to force things here, so you're not cranking with your arms, you're not really forcing yourself to look as far back as you possibly can. We're just gently twisting towards the left, engaging our muscles in the process. We'll take one more inhale here. And exhale, we'll come back to center, bringing that right forearm down to the tops of the legs. And inhaling, peeling that left arm open, coming into another twisting variation. Again, we really want to lengthen the spine here, so try not to round your back too much. Lengthening the spine, twisting that chest open here, reaching up nice and high with those left fingers. Take one more inhale, and exhale gently. We'll unwind, come back to center. Awesome. From here, we're going to do a bit of a variation of cat-cow that you can sneak into your desk. So this is great for stretching out your back. With your hands on your legs, we're going to inhale, take the chest forwards, take the gaze up, create a bit of a swayed back here as you look up towards the ceiling. And any amount of looking up that feels good to you is okay here. We don't need to all look the same as we practice this pose, so you don't need to do a really dramatic bend. And then as you exhale, we're going to round through the spine. You can lean backwards, tucking your chin towards your chest and maybe sliding your hands forwards along your legs. As we inhale, we're going to scoop it forwards, taking the chest forwards, taking the gaze up. And exhale, rounding it back, sliding the hands forwards, tucking the chin, round back. We'll do two more of these. Inhale, take it up. And exhale, take it down. One more, inhale. And exhale, round it back. From this rounded back position, we can take our feet a little bit further in front of us here in our chairs. And if you're seated on the floor, you can extend your legs a little bit in front of you. From this rounded position, we're going to continue the journey rounding forwards, so that we're draping our body over our legs and letting your hands either just dangle down towards the floor, maybe holding onto opposite elbows underneath your legs, and just relaxing your head down, resting your body, and take a nice deep breath into your back body. Feel your back ribs expand as you inhale and sink down as you exhale, passively stretching out the back body. We'll take one more inhale here. And then on the exhale, we'll slowly roll our way up, one vertebra at a time, all the way back up to seated, taking the shoulders back before the head lifts. Awesome. We're going to work our way down into the legs a little bit before we do a few standing postures and close our practice today. So to start, we can take our feet flat underneath our knees again. We're going to hug the right knee in towards our body. And I've tested this out in jeans before. I mean, working from home, we might be wearing some of our comfiest clothes, but if you are wearing jeans or other slightly more restrictive clothing, just work within the limits of those clothes. Postures like this are still accessible. They might not be able to be squeezed in quite as tight or stretched out quite as long, but it's still possible to stretch in those clothing. So we'll hug that knee in nice and close and think about sitting up nice and tall as you do this. You can start to roll your ankle one way and then maybe the other. And then from here, maybe hold on to the back of your thigh. You can stay here, or you can start to try extending your leg out in front of you. If you're fairly familiar with postures like this, maybe you can reach for your foot and just stretch your leg out in front of you as you sit up nice and tall. But we're not forcing anything today. This is a study break. This is meant to be relaxing and unwinding. So we don't want to force ourselves into any really unusual shapes here. So by all means, hold on to the back of your leg. You can keep your knees super bent here. We're just stretching out around the hip area and maybe into the backs of the legs. Wherever you are, we'll slowly bend that knee. We'll bring it back down. We won't let that foot touch the ground yet. We'll either hold it up for a moment with that knee bent, or maybe you can string that leg out in front of you and hold it up using the muscles in your leg. We'll hold for 3, 2, 1, and we'll take it down. Oh my goodness. That always surprises me how much you can feel that, even while seated in a chair. Now we'll take that right leg one more time, and then we'll do the other side. We'll take that right leg and cross that right ankle across the left thigh. Flex that right foot to protect the knee joint and sit up nice and tall. You may already start to feel a bit of a stretch through that right hip. If you'd like a little bit more, you can start to lean forwards with your chest. So we're not rounding the spine again. We're trying to keep ourselves nice and long here, leaning forwards, hinging from the hips. Take one more nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, we'll come on up, uncross the legs, and we'll move to the other side. So we'll start by picking that left knee up, and we'll hug it in nice and close. You can start to rotate that ankle one way, and then maybe the other. And then again, trying to sit up nice and tall. Maybe we'll hold on to the back of the thigh here. And maybe you can practice. You could even just extend maybe your shin parallel with the floor. Maybe you want to practice trying extending your leg out. Maybe you can reach, holding onto your foot, really stretching out through the back of that hamstring. But again, move through your own range of motion. Tune into your body here. How is it feeling? What's it telling you? It's really important to take these opportunities to check in. Now, wherever you are, we'll bend that knee and bring it back down, hovering that foot up off the floor. We're going to hold it here or straighten that leg out, and we'll use the muscles in the leg to hold it up for 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Whew. You can shake out your knees a little bit, and then we'll take that left leg one more time, crossing it over the right, flexing that left foot, sitting up nice and tall. Maybe you'll already feel this stretch through the left hip. Maybe you can start to tip forwards a little bit here. Taking a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, we'll unwind and we'll come to standing for a few moments before we close. So standing, we can keep our chairs handy here. We're going to use them. And, oh goodness, my chair is sticking to my mat. From standing, if you don't have a chair, don't worry, I'll offer some alternatives. We're going to face our chair, standing an appreciable distance. We're going to be folding forwards to put our hands on the backs of the chair. So we'll start by standing up nice and tall. We'll take the shoulders back, find some balance in the feet. So notice maybe if you tend to stand a little forwards on your feet, maybe you lean back on your heels or stand more to one side than the other. Try to find a nice middle point here, a nice place of balance and equity. Take the shoulders back, reach your fingers down to the floor, and reach up from the crown of your head. Maybe take a moment to close your eyes here. Notice if you can bring that sense of stillness back to your eyes, back to your mind. And then slowly opening the eyes, we'll inhale, reach up nice and tall, and exhale, folding from the hips. You can bend your knees as much as you need to here. We're going to bring our hands to the back of our chair. And maybe you need to adjust. I need to step my feet a little bit further back here to really firmly press my hands into the back of my chair and extend my spine nice and long. So this is a great stretch through the arms, the shoulders, the back, maybe even through the backs of the legs. Take a couple of nice deep breaths in here. We'll take one more inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to continue the journey down. So very carefully, you can shift your weight back in your heels a little bit and bending your knees as much as you need to. We're going to fold it forwards. You can just relax the body here. Maybe shake the head a little yes and no. Just to loosen up through the spine a little bit more. And then slowly, we're going to roll our way up. Again, one vertebra at a time, shoulders roll up before the head lifts. Awesome. We have one more standing posture we're going to move through today. And again, we're going to have this chair here as a bit of a prop. So if we need it for our balance, we can go ahead and use it. And I'll mention, I should have mentioned before, for our previous posture here, you can even use a desk. You can use a wall that's out in front of you. Anything you can place your hands on to really extend your spine nice and long can be used for that posture. Even if you're seated at a desk, you could be seated in your chair, reach your hands out on your desk and extend nice and long. It can feel really good, especially if you have a little break in your class or between meetings. So this final posture today, we're going to come into tree pose just to give ourselves a bit of quiet and focus and balance. I find it's one of the most relaxing things is to find that sense of focus in a balancing pose because your whole mind has to be a little more quiet in order for you to balance. As soon as your mind starts wandering, your balance might start to go. So we'll start standing. We can just circle the right leg around a little bit here, loosening up the hip a little bit. We already did that hip opening stretch while we were seated, but just take a couple of circles and then finding a nice firm standing position with that left foot, we'll bring that right foot either to the left ankle, the calf, or if you're experienced and your clothes allow it, to the thigh. The only place we don't want the foot is on the knee because knees aren't meant to bend sideways. It's not really good to apply pressure that way. Wherever you are, you can use your chair for balance here. Think about extending that thigh down and away from you, opening up through the hips. You can hold on to the chair, or maybe take your hands to center, and with an inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Find a spot in front of you that's not moving. So again, we're playing with that stillness of the eyes, this time with the eyes open. And notice that as you focus your gaze, your mind becomes quiet, and your balance becomes a little more steady. If you like, you can experiment with closing your eyes. Can you maintain that stillness? I'm already getting a little more wobbly here, so I'm going to open my eyes again. Take one more inhale wherever you are. And exhale. We'll unwind and we'll do the other side. So shift the weight into the right foot. You can move your chair to the other side if you like, so you can hold on to it for balance. We'll start just by circling that left leg around, opening up that hip, making it a little looser. And then we'll prepare ourselves for tree pose on the other side. So again, rooting down firmly through that right foot. You'll bring that left foot either to the inner right ankle, the calf, or the thigh, just not on the knee. Wherever you are, you can hold on to a chair or a piece of furniture for some balance. Think about extending that thigh down and away from you, opening up through the hips. And then maybe bring the hands to center. And on your next inhale, take the arms up, feeling nice and rooted and steady in the lower body, light and buoyant through the upper body. And again, find that point of stillness, that space of focus and steadiness. And if you're willing to play, maybe close your eyes and see what happens. And if you tip over, that's totally normal. Tipping over means you're human. I mean, even trees out in nature, they sway in the wind all the time. They topple over all the time. So there's no need for us to really have a perfect tree pose here. Just see where you're at. Take one more inhale wherever you are, and exhale. We'll come on down and we'll make our way either back to seated on the floor or seated in our chairs. So if you have your chair handy, what we're going to do is, with a nice big inhale, reach up nice and high, and exhale, we're gonna sit back as if we're about to sit in the chair, and just pause for a moment here. You can reach your arms straight out at shoulder height, maybe bring your hands to your hips, hovering just above your chair. One last little stretch, getting into the legs, and then slowly we'll sit down. Often I find having a little burst where you hover above your chair like that, it gets your energy going a little bit to revitalize you as you move into the rest of your day. Wherever you are, if you're making your way to seated on the floor, we'll take a moment just to take the shoulders back, reach up through the crown of the head. And we'll close our eyes one more time here, just to check in, noticing how your body is feeling, noticing how your breath is moving, if it's fast or slow, deep or shallow. And notice how your mind is moving. Notice how you feel as a whole, your body, your breath, and your mind. Notice how you feel as a whole now, compared to how you felt at the very beginning of our practice today. With a deep breath in, we'll take our hands to center, and exhale, bow the chin forwards, getting that stretch along the back of the neck again, and taking a moment just to express gratitude for taking the time out to try something new today and take a bit of a break. Slowly open our eyes. Thank you so much for joining me for library yoga today. I hope some of these chair yoga postures prove helpful to you as you move throughout the rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time.